Phew. That about wraps it up for today's training. No thanks to a certain distraction. Professor Hanneman, I know you're there. It's extremely unsettling the way you're always staring like that.
Oh, my apologies, child. I was trying to remain inconspicuous, not wanting to interrupt.
Your half-hearted attempt to hide your weird staring only makes it weirder.
Well, I must apologize. In the future, I shall do my staring out in the open.
That might ease the weirdness, but it will continue to be extremely unsettling.
I have no desire to disturb nor to disquiet you. But you are a most exquisite subject for my crest research. And you understand that the foundation of all research is observation.
I understand well enough, and I'll do my best to ignore it. But in return...
In return, I will keep your secret. I have not spoken a word of your twin crests, not even to the church. If they knew I was withholding such valuable information, I might be branded a traitor. But such matters are trivial compared to the future of crestology.
Shh! Don't talk so loudly about it out here in the open!
Pardon my excitement. I simply cannot let the opportunity to study such a miraculous subject go to waste.
These awful crests may seem miraculous to you, but for me, they fall under the category of curse.
I hope one day you will share more about your tragic origins, whenever you have the time to recount it. Your tale may contain valuable information.
You are utterly lacking in empathy, you know that? Even if you spent your entire life observing me, you'd never understand my feelings and all I've been through. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I fear I may have made a misstep. I have no desire to trouble her, yet my research...
Professor Manuela, it's been far too long since we've had a proper chat. Let's fix that right now.
Too true, Dorothea. We hardly have a moment to spare here. But it's so nice to see you flourishing. It certainly brings back memories. You know, somehow you've gotten even prettier. The years have been kind to you.
That's something like a rose telling a daisy it's pretty, but I appreciate the compliment all the same.
Oh, honey, if that's the case, I hope you'll work hard to never become a rose like me. Too many thorns.
Oh, stop it. You've accomplished a great deal. You should be proud.
That's a very nice sentiment, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So, I've been very curious. How did you end up enrolled at the academy anyway? I know you didn't have any family connections. How'd you do it?
Well, it did require pulling some noble strings. But learning everything to pass the entrance exams, that was all me, and very hard. Especially while I was still singing for the opera. But I wanted the academy more than anything else.
Well, bravo, and well done. You've always had to find your own way in life, haven't you? I so wish you could rely on people more often. Still, though, you haven't said why you worked so hard to get into Garreg Mach to begin with.
Isn't it obvious? Because you were here. When you retired, it broke my heart. But it also woke me up. Seeing someone like you, who shined so brightly on the stage, give it all up and start a brand new life. It got me thinking about my own future, and what I wanted it to look like. As ever, I followed your lead.
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
I had also heard that the heirs to the Alliance, Empire, and the Kingdom were all enrolling as well. With such an exceptional crop of potential spouses, how could I go anywhere else?
And have you gotten what you were after? Your dreams, a future, and a good partner?
I'm sure I'll find my somebody someday, but I haven't found them yet. It's so nice to spend time with you again, Manuela. It's been too long.
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing? You know, I can hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then. Not a single nibble. Just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade. I was hopeless at it, but he was a master. In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man. We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip. He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood, and it had greatly extended his life. Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off. Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100. And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit. An incredible person, to be sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind. When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like? In other words, he was exactly the same. When he was with the knights, he always found time to go fishing. He was hooked on it, you might say. He'd say there was no greater pleasure in life than sinking his teeth into a fish he'd caught and washing it down with a drink. I have to say, right now, fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Keeping it clean, sweeping it clean. No more trash, nowhere, no how. Oh darn, there's trash over there. Hey, Professor! The cathedral's a real important place for the Church of Seiros, so I always make sure it's all sparkling clean. The monks do some cleaning too, and they tell me not to bother, and sometimes they even say to go away, but they just don't clean as good as I do. I don't stop until everything shines. Nah, not really. And Lady Rhea told me it's okay if I don't show an interest unless I feel like it. And I haven't so far, but I just want to take good care of the things she cares about. If there's a thing she wants taken care of, then I'll do it better than anyone else. Don't you feel the same? Since Lady Rhea really took a liking to you and all. Maybe you don't realize how great a person Lady Rhea is. She's always praying hard as she can for her followers all across Fodlan. She does it every single day. And even though she's always so busy, she tries to listen to as many people's needs as she can. When she's seen the kids who lost their parents in Ramire Village, she didn't leave them there. She got the church to take those kids in, same as me. She's so kind. She's almost like a mom to all her followers, and just everybody that I can think of loves her. Hang on, you trying to say you know more about Lady Rhea than I do? Okay, maybe she likes you more than she likes me. But I know that I know a whole lot more about her than you do. I know these things, okay? So don't go talking down to me like you know better. Huh? Well, just as long as we're all clear on that.
I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it. Not too shabby, Professor. Oh, come on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on. Aw, poor thing. Aren't you used to getting hurt? You've been in your fair share of battles. Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of. I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After extensive research, I've concluded that you really are first-rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but here you are. At first, I thought Gerald was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you. But no, Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out. Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator. So my plan of imitating you for Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing. I didn't say that. When we rescue Lady Rhea, I'll provide her a full report of your activities. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
Professor, a moment. I am sorry that I doubted your ability. I deeply regret ever holding such a view of you. It is obvious to me now that you are extraordinary. Do you doubt your own power, even now? I suppose that's only natural. You've lived your whole life knowing next to nothing about yourself. Not even Gerald could have possibly known all there is to know about you. But I wonder, are you satisfied with that? Are you content, not knowing who you are? Or do you yearn to know more? That was a foolish question, of course. You are not the sort to be complacent. So, only one more question matters. Are you ready? The truth. All of it. Learning it will doubtlessly have direct consequences on your life. I do not know what those will be. You may decide, once you learn it, that you wish you hadn't. But even if you have such regrets, you will never be able to return to ignorance. So, are you ready to know the truth? I see. That is what I wish to hear. Since the Archbishop put so much faith in you, I will continue to offer my aid. More than that, I will put my faith in you as well. And I will do all that is within my power to help you someday reach the truth.
Hey, Seteth. I got a delivery for you.
Thank you, Cyril. Would you mind waiting just a moment for me to confirm the contents?
Sure thing.
All seems to be accounted for. I lack the time to handle tasks of this kind myself. I appreciate you making the effort. Is there anything I can assist you with? Do you have any concerns?
Concerns? Nah, I'm happy just working for Lady Rhea. I got a way better life now than I ever did before.
If your better life is this frugal, I have to wonder what your previous experience was like. It must not have been easy before you came to us. But you should know that is in the past now. You are young, you should be enjoying life. Do not allow your past to overshadow that. Is there nothing you desire? We will support you in any way we can.
Really, there's nothing. Except... Nah, it's okay.
Except?
I don't got anywhere else to go, and I just want to be able to stay here forever. This place Lady Rhea gave me, it's the only place I know to call home.
I will keep that in mind.
Well, I got work to do. Excuse me.
Of course. I apologize for delaying you.
And he said, I don't even have a horse. Pretty funny story, huh? What is it, Shamir? You're not laughing. Didn't you think it was funny?
Sure.
So then laugh. You could stand to be a little friendlier, you know.
Do I need to be?
What do you mean, need to be? friendship isn't about obligation. You could try being a bit warmer. Like when I first met you, I took the time to introduce myself and make friendly conversation, and you just said, "Hi, I'm Shamir." I remember thinking that you wouldn't be easy to get along with.
Now that's funny. I remember thinking you were just another knight who loved the sound of her own voice. You know, the type who's all talk but useless in battle.
Well, that's a bit harsh. Did you really think that?
Yes.
But you changed your mind when you saw me in action.
I did. You're surprisingly strong.
Well, even though you had zero charm, you did a nice job of supporting me. Now I know that you'll always have my back. In fact, maybe I should take it easy and let you handle all the fighting.
It sounds like I'm going to be doing a lot more work around here.
We make a pretty good team. At any rate, we're bound together, so we better try to get along. Don't you think, partner?
If that's how you see it, I can't disagree. Mission accomplished. Let's pack up and get out of here.
Yes. Let's.
What's wrong? You don't seem like your usual self.
Oh, I'm still the same old Alois. Come on, let's head back before nightfall.
Don't try to hide it. You're making it obvious.
Shamir, can I ask you a stupid question?
That depends on how stupid it is.
You're a skilled sniper. You've completed countless missions. And in the process, you've taken countless lives.
Correct. And your point?
After a mission, do you ever think about the people you killed?
Never.
I see. Well, I guess that's the best way, huh? There's no point dwelling on it.
After all the lives you've taken, why worry about it now?
I've got everything packed up. I'm going to head back now. You should head home as well, before it gets too dark.
What a tiresome man.
Alois, what a pleasant surprise. Would you care to join me?
Ah, perfect. I was just looking for someone to dine with. Let's raid the dining hall, shall we?
My goodness, but you're in a good mood.
Manuela, I have some news. I received a letter from my wife today.
Oh?
My daughter just picked up a new skill. Can you guess what it might be?
Singing? Dancing? I have no idea what parents teach their kids, or why they even have children at all. Still, give me a hint. Fishing? Bricklaying? Cooking?
That's right. Spot on as always. My wife is teaching her the basics.
The basics of which?
Next time I'm home, my daughter will be able to cook me all my favorite meals. What a lucky father I am. Is any father in the world luckier than I?
I don't know. And I don't care to know.
My wife greeting me at the door. My daughter's nervous face as she sets the meal on the table. Oh, I'm so excited I bet I won't even be able to taste the food as I devour it.
Wouldn't your daughter appreciate it more if you took the time to savor?
Then I'll say, how delicious! That was the second best meal I've ever had.
Not first best? Shouldn't you encourage her?
Mommy's cooking is the best, but you're a close runner-up, darling.
Why would you say?
Oh, Daddy, I'm so happy you liked it, she'll say, as she embraces me, a big smile on her little face. Ah, what could make a man happier?
You've forgotten I'm here, haven't you? All I wanted was a dinner companion. What did I do to deserve this?
Manuela, I would like to apologize. The other day, I said some things to you that I am, well, not proud of in the least.
Oh no, Hanneman. It is I who should be apologizing. I behaved in just the most dreadful, dreadful manner. I was just lashing out at everything. You were right to call me out. Really. And I do very much mean this. I'm so sorry for my behavior.
No, please, pay it no mind. Actually, I'm thankful for what you said during our conflict.
Thankful?
Yes, you made me realize that I have a somewhat meddlesome nature. Thanks to you, I believe I found an area in which I can improve myself.
I could say the same thing, you know. Your accusations, they really hit home. After I cooled down, I realized you were right. I really ought to try and keep my emotions a bit more under control.
Well, that's good to hear. It seems this wasn't a fruitless clash for either of us.
Oh, indeed. There's nothing more depressing than a pointless fight, is there? Don't you wonder, though, just how many times we've had this same argument?
We do always seem to be at one another's throats before we even realize it. I don't know how we manage to keep it up.
You're not wrong. Something the matter, Hanneman?
Well, it's just... you don't smile like that very often. But when you do, it is quite charming. Perhaps your struggles in love are due to your reliance on false affection, instead of your more natural charms.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Even if you did have to spoil it with criticism. If you weren't so judgmental all the time, maybe you'd have had more luck in romance yourself.
What? Manuela, as your friend, I was only trying to give you a useful bit of advice.
And that so-called advice is exactly why I call you meddlesome and overbearing. And
There it
there's
is.
Hanneman, who said
Manuela
he was going
begins to
stop being
protest
so
even when she
meddlesome.
knows the fault lies with the
My head is pounding. You'd think I'd get used to this. Oh.
Manuela? Oh my goodness, you look terrible. Don't get up, I'll get you some water. I should fluff up those pillows for you. They will make you more comfortable.
I'm completely hopeless. I was so proud of being the reason you came to Garrigmach. Dorothea wanted to follow in my footsteps. How great is that? I thought I'd use that as an inspiration to straighten myself out. Be less of a, you know, less of a disgrace. But here I am, right in front of you, dealing with the worst hangover I've had in weeks.
You thought you'd hide this from me?
Wait, you mean you knew?
Even when you were still with the opera company, you had quite the reputation. There was a joke that you could outdrink a fish and the sailor who caught it.
Dorothea, my brain's pounding as it is. Please, stop. It's all true. But I can't handle hearing it from you, the girl I thought I had inspired to greatness. I can't believe I tried so hard to be a good example for you when you knew all along. I should leap into the ocean and drown.
Don't say that. You've not lost a bit of respect from me. Not one bit. Everyone has their faults, and some have more than others, but you are the finest songstress the opera had ever seen. And you've taught me well. What I mean to say is, you're my inspiration. I really do admire you.
Thank you, Dorothea. That means a lot.
Professor Hanneman, is this a good spot for this book?
That will do nicely, Lysithea. I'm sorry to trouble you with these chores.
It's no trouble. After all, it's proper etiquette for the young to help the elderly.
The elderly? I'm only... Ugh, never mind. How have you been feeling of late? Anything worth mentioning?
I've been feeling well enough, all things considered.
You seem to be maturing remarkably. No doubt your well-being is due to the positive influence of your twin crests working in tandem.
Here he goes with the positive again. Looks like your research is more useless than I thought.
I may ignore your assaults on my age, but I will not allow unfettered attacks upon my research. What makes you think it's lacking? Surely you do not deny that your crest-related abilities exceed those of your peers. You are so far ahead of the others. Even the combined effects of the twin crests you bear do not fully account for that discrepancy.
You just can't see beyond the crest, can you? In all your research, haven't you considered that my abilities are a direct result of the effort I've put in?
Of course, I am aware that you are a hardworking student, but...
My efforts far exceed those of any other student. I've placed top priority on growing as quickly as possible.
Is the ability to expend such incredible efforts, to be so focused and driven, is that not a form of talent?
It has nothing to do with talent. It's a question of sheer will. I'm determined to succeed, no matter the sacrifice.
I see, but what drives you to such lengths?
I have goals, just like anyone, and precious little time in which to achieve them.
Little time?
The people who made me as I am informed me that my life would be drastically shortened as a result. A person bearing two crests against the will of nature itself. Well, clearly it can't be sustainable. As such, I don't indulge in the luxury of fantasizing about the future. I haven't got one. Knowing all this now, will you still claim that my crests are something positive?
I cannot. Please understand, I had no idea.
I'll be leaving now.
Lysithea. So that is why you are...
I know you are there, Hanneman.
Well, say, are those crest documents? Ah, Seteth, have you finally decided to cooperate with my research?
Absolutely not. For 21 years I have refused your requests. I have no intention of changing my mind. But I will lend you these documents I have found, on the condition that you stop following me.
I am quite tempted by the offer, but your cooperation would be of much greater value. Your crest, the major crest of Keyhole, is so rare. As far as I am aware, Seteth, you are the only person ever confirmed to bear that particular crest. How did you come to possess it?
My answer is the same as every other time you have asked. I do not know. I was born a commoner, with no connections to any crests. There are no records of my lineage.
Oh, please. That thin explanation could never discourage me. You must understand, I will dig until I find the truth, no matter how long it takes.
You are wasting your time. I cannot give you the answers you seek. Even if you were to discover the reason why I bear the major crest of Keyhole, I doubt it would satisfy you.
That is for me alone to decide. And even if you are correct, that confirmation itself would be a valuable discovery. Such is the way of research, yes?
I'm afraid I cannot attest to that. I'm no scholar. In any case, if you really have no need for the documents, you will not mind if I dispose of them.
Let's not do anything hasty now. I will leave you alone, for now. But I am taking these documents with me. Once I complete my research on these papers, it'll be your turn, Seteth. I will learn the truth of your crest.
It is a pointless endeavor. You will learn nothing from me, no matter how much you try.
Perhaps his stubborn nature is one of the effects of his crest. Now that would be an interesting discovery. The first stage of my research will be to decipher his personality. Linhardt. Reading as studiously as ever, I see. Anything to do with crests?
Hello, Professor Hanneman. Actually, this book's about fishing.
I didn't realize you were interested in fishing. What an unexpected discovery. I had heard that you were only interested in crests, to the exclusion of all else. As it were, I had rather thought I could train you as my successor, should we get to know one another better.
I'm sorry to betray your expectations. Truth be told, I've been thinking of giving up on my crest research.
What? Whatever for? Don't tell me you believe fishing to be a more worthwhile pursuit.
No, it's nothing to do with fishing. I adore the subject of crests. But to study them, you have to consult the people who bear them, right? I just don't have the energy for that.
It is an unavoidable hardship, I admit. But the satisfaction of making a real breakthrough is second to none.
I'm sure the satisfaction of catching a fish is pretty great too.
Consider this, child. Luring fish from the depths pales in comparison to untangling the mysteries of a crest. Why? It all comes down to purpose. Purpose, I say.
Calm down. I get it. Really.
Evidently, you do not. You must have something to work toward in life. The ultimate goal of fishing is to eat the fish. The goal of solving the mysteries of crests is, well, you must find that for yourself. What do you hope to uncover once everything is finally explained? What motivates you to keep digging deeper?
I had never thought about it like that. Perhaps if I did have a goal, I might share your enthusiasm on the subject. Flyan, I have another question for you, if you please.
Another one, Linhardt? When will you leave me in peace?
A breakthrough has been made concerning your crest. A major crest of St. Seteth, correct?
Well, yes. I've been trying to keep that quiet.
Part of my interest on this topic is that I possess a minor crest of Seteth myself.
I am aware.
Possessing a minor crest is uncommon, but not rare among the noble families. However, a major crest of Seteth, that is beyond rare.
Oh, is it?
I am quite curious as to why you were born with such a rare major crest. Given that mine is a minor crest of the same type, it's possible that you and I are distant relations.
You and I related? I am quite certain that is not the case.
Oh, do you have access to a detailed ancestry? That could be a most useful tome.
No, I do not. However...
A shame. Oh, to explore one's lineage and investigate such possibilities. Alas, the odds of your being a direct descendant of Saint Seteth are quite low. The prevailing theory among respectable scholars is that Saint Seteth died having never married.
It's true she's unmarried. Was unmarried, that is. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not a descendant of Saint Seteth. Of this, I can assure you.
While I do not subscribe to your absolute certainty, I do agree your relation to her is highly unlikely. Yet there is some connection between yourself and Saint Seteth.
What was that you were mumbling to yourself?
Nothing. My apologies. Simply thinking aloud. I do hope we can continue this discussion sometime.
He always acts so oddly. It makes me ill at ease.
Which means that there are some elements of your power that cannot be explained by current theory. Although this may lead to a discovery that alters the very fabric of crest research. Oh, pardon me, Professor. I became lost in thought, and I do tend to ramble. I suggest we call it a day. Do you concur? No, you mustn't push yourself too hard. When you are not in battle, you are so often here with me. I get so energized speaking with you. Well, I must remember to pull my head out of the clouds. That said, Perhaps we should discuss things unrelated to crests from time to time. Some sort of silly, light-hearted topic might be nice, eh? I'm not especially skilled at small talk, alas. Let me see. Perhaps we should discuss... I know. Food. Not my strong suit, the culinary arts, but I do enjoy a good meal. Which kind of food do you prefer, Professor? Sweet or spicy? Same as myself. Yes, indeed. Oh, now my stomach is growling. An old colleague of mine theorized that those who bear crests favor sweet flavors over spicy. She suggested that the crest exerts some manner of influence over... Oh, there I go again. How embarrassing. We were supposed to be avoiding talk of crests, weren't we? Terrible habit of mine, finding a way to turn any conversation towards crests. I really should find a way to stop that. That is kind of you, Professor, but it's all right. If you were to lose your patience with me, it could have an incalculable impact on my research. That sort of thing has happened in the past, you know. Back when I was still in the Empire. At first, any lady I was spending time with would titter and say she didn't mind if I talked about crests. But at some point, she would always become fed up and stop listening to what I had to say. In the end, invariably, while I was particularly focused on my research, she would write to say we were done. I will do everything I can to keep that from happening this time.
So I said, 2 can play at that game. I told him, a small-time little weasel like you ought to be begging me for attention. Oh, it gets me so mad, so worked up. Why aren't there any men around here who understand what a catch I am? Come to think of it, you've always been nice to me. If only you were a man. I mean, you listen to all my problems. I feel like I can really trust you. I don't have that kind of thing with a lot of people. I know. It's a real tragedy. I suppose this is what the goddess has ordained, so I'll accept it. All right, enough of this moping around. What we need is a change of mood. We've still got a lot to do together. When I think about that, what are 1 or 2 men? What's wrong is, it's not just 1 or 2 men, it's more like 100 men, maybe even 200, more! I'm completely... Oh, I can't get out of this mood! Actually, I've got an idea. Exercise will help. I'm going to the training ground. Come on and give me a hand. Gonna work my anger out on 100 training dummies. Maybe 200 if we've got them.
Manuela, a moment?
Oh, hello, Seteth. I must apologize, but I'm quite busy. Perhaps we could talk another time?
I have already confirmed that you have no urgent business. I would like to hear your explanation now.
My explanation? For what?
Allow me to be more specific. Where were you, and what were you doing last night?
Oh, my dear Seteth. You must relax that worried brow. Those 4 head creases will ruin your beauty.
Just answer the question, please.
What question is that? The one you already know the answer to? Last night I had a bit of fun and a bit of drink. Less of one and more of the other, sure, but...
How much you drink is not my concern. But you are an adult who is tasked with the supervision of children. You should not be causing trouble for the students. It is unacceptable for you to expose them to your disgraceful behavior. even more so to impose upon them the labor of cleaning up your mess.
Oh, don't oversell it. All they did was walk with me back to my room.
From what I hear, you had to be carried.
I'd like to think I'd remember that. If it happened, and it probably didn't, it's not as if I'm heavy. Nobody hurt themselves. Did they? Come on, Seteth. Loosen up. If you're so worried about how I'll behave, why don't you join me for a drink sometime? I mean, I only get in trouble when I drink alone.
If it will help to improve your behavior, I would not object to accompanying you from now on.
Well, that sounds just delicious. What are you doing tonight, around...
But first I will lecture you on all of the intricacies of proper behavior in the supervision of children. And until I am done, you will not drink a drop of alcohol. If you agree to those conditions, I will join you. I will even drink with you. Alcohol has little effect on me.
That is just... You know, getting lectured by you is... Well, I think the word is torture. Yes, that's it. Torture. And I won't have it. I'm going to go get a drink and try to forget this ever happened.
How is it that you imagine yourself the tortured one?
Hey Shamir, how do you think I'm doing with my bow lately? Think I'm getting pretty good? I hit closer to the bullseye today, and that felt real good.
You were fine.
Fine? That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Shamir.
You take too many direct shots, though.
But it's easier if you shoot straight.
Of course it is. But if you can hit your enemy with a straight shot, you're too close. Tell me, Cyril, what's an archer's greatest weakness?
When we get too close to the enemy and we can't shoot the way we're supposed to?
Exactly. As an archer, your position is critical. Know exactly how far the enemy is and keep a minimum safe distance. Understood?
You mean to stay away from the enemies, but not too far away or my arrows can't hit them.
So you understand why you can't rely on straight shots. You have to use curved shots as well. Never run up to your target. Hit them from a safe range.
Shoot them from a safe range with curved shots.
Archers should always control the battlefield.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I'm gonna go practice some of those curved shots right now.
You're not a bad student. If nothing else, you have the right attitude.
You think so?
Keep it up.
I will.
Hey, Alois. Looks like you're done for the day. Care to join me in the dining hall?
Ah, Catherine, how could I refuse?
Nothing like a good drink. I feel better already. The grub's not bad either. This is the perfect way to end a long day of work.
I couldn't agree more. It feels like a weight's been lifted from my shoulders. It's at times like this, when worldly worries fall away, that I can really live in the moment. It's intoxicating.
Worldly worries, live in the moment. Look who's suddenly waxing poetic. Wait, you feel intoxicated before you've had a drop of booze? Talk about a lightweight.
Hello! Just the man I was looking for.
Ah, yes. Were you the fellow selling ancient coins?
Yes, sir. Since our meeting at the antique shop yesterday, I got my hands on something new. Here we are. Look at this magnificent coin. Do you see the engraving? It's the crest of House Karen, one of the kingdom's most prominent noble families. It's an exceptionally rare piece, commissioned by a hero 1,000 years ago.
By a hero? 1,000 years ago? I'll take it. How much do I owe you?
For a collector such as yourself, sir, I'm happy to offer it at a discounted price. Let's see, that'll be...
Hold on. Stop trying to swindle my friend. You're claiming a hero from House Karen had their crest engraved on this coin. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Tell me, as a collector of antiques, are you familiar with this piece? It's a legendary sword.
Ma'am, please, keep your nose out of my... What? Is that Thunderbrand? That's not possible. It couldn't be.
You are familiar with it. Excellent. Perhaps you know how cleanly it slices through liars and cheats.
Ah!
Ah! You're saying that whole story was a lie?
I thought it was obvious.